We're live, we're live, we're live. The Mr. Bass live stream. Spinning to win, and we're going to talk swim baits tonight. And you guys are going to be surprised because I got a special guest I'm going to bring on here in just a second. And we're going to talk a little bit about swim baits, and we'll do our giveaways. Hey, Jan, how's it going, man? The little bee, what's up? If you notice, I've caught 628 fish. Yes, I've had a good couple of weeks. Actually, last week I had the tournament. Right on to Little B, you got it. And then yesterday I had a really good day. So we're gonna have the Little B's got it. We got Matthew sitting in the wings. He's in the green room. And we're going to talk swim baits. I'm going to show you some cool ones that I've got, and he's going to show some of his cool baits. So that will be fun. Pop Tart, Mad Swim Baiter, Frank, Adam, Chris, how you guys doing? Yeah. Ron, good to see you guys. How's your fishing weekend been going? I had a crazy day yesterday. I went out and I said, I'm going to try fishing the that underspin that I got from Carl's, the cycle bait. Could not get bit on that thing. So I don't know what was going on with that. And I thought, the only thing I could think of is maybe I'm being, that flash is too much. I'm gonna get a little more subtle. So I downsized to a much more subtle swim bait, and man, it was lights out. They were crushing it. I probably was out there 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and I caught about 35 fish. Crazy. And I could have caught way more than that. I mean, I could have just kept going. It was just crazy how good the fishing was. And that, those days when you just have fish after fish, man, and they were good fish too. I probably only had 2 or 3 dinks, Debo dinks, they like to call them. The rest were really good fish. There was no 5-pounders, but man, they were great. So I think I posted a few pictures on Instagram today of some of those fish. So 628, closer to 1,000, man. Maybe I can pull it off. I don't know. The problem is we're in October, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of fishing here in the next 3 months, 2.5 months. Nathan finally caught his first frog fish. That's sweet. Good job, man. The little bee got skunked again. Dead calm, no wind, bright bluebird sky. That's Ned rig. That's Ned rig material, man. Or wacky rig Cincos. Something super finessey. The Mad Swim Baiter. The Mad Swim Baiter isn't Mad Swim Baiter. Aren't you Honey's Bee? Bee's Honey as well? Or am I mixing you guys up? Oh, Chris, he caught a bunch of dinks and 11 fish today. Nice. That's really cool. That is very nice. Adam's chasing some trout. Found out almost dead worms fly off the hook pretty easy. Yeah, I bet they do. That's funny. Biospawn, George, man, I like the Biospawn baits. I do like them quite a bit. Dude, man, I'm lucky, Tex, because I'm not bored by Ned rig fishing. I really enjoy it. I enjoy fishing slow as much as I do fishing fast. So now it is brutal if you're not catching them, but usually you start throwing that Ned rig and start catching, it gets entertaining. So maybe I should have had the Mad Swim Baiter on here too, man. I didn't know Bees Honey was into swim baits as well. The old Thunder Cricket, Booyah flexing, square billing, wacky cincoing. Heck yeah, man. That's fun stuff. For sure. What up, Theodore? How's it going, man? All right, let's go ahead and bring Matthew on. We'll get this party rolling here because I got quite a few things to show you, and I think he does too. So I'll send him a note saying, hey, I can see him on the screen and he's typing away at you guys. You can do a big stream of all swim baiters. Yeah. All right, here we go. There he is. Matthew A, as it says on the screen. How's it going, dude?
What up?
Good to have you, man.
Hey.
When I thought about doing this swim bait show today, I thought, man, Matthew, of everybody on my live streams, Matthew comments more about swim baits than anybody. And then you're always sending me a DM behind the scenes saying, check out this new swim bait I just got, or I'm about to get this one, or quick, go get you some of these. I just found them and they're available right now. He's got me on the juice several times. So that's
Hey,
cool.
how you guys doing in the chat?
Yeah, they're all saying hi, man.
What up, Texas Huntsman? What up, Nathan? What up, Matt Swim Baiter?
So how have you been, Matthew?
Good.
You been doing much fishing?
No, like I said, lately, just been having this vertigo issue. Past couple of days, about 5 days, I've been having this vertigo. But recently, haven't been fishing. But past from that, I've been fishing probably like 4 times a week.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's
pretty good
true.
amount.
I noticed the last week or so I haven't seen any fish pictures from you.
Yeah.
So, well, I know you love swim bait fishing, and
Yeah,
I don't know if you spend every spare dime on swim baits or not, but you got a good collection rolling, don't you?
Yeah, I have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
If I showed you guys all of it, it'd probably take too long.
Yeah, it probably would. We only got 2 hours, and I got to give some stuff away too. So we'll sprinkle in some of the spin to win.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, I do got a lot here tonight to show, so that'll be
That's
fun.
gonna take some time, especially some of those baits. I think a lot of people are gonna like those.
Yeah, as Illuminathan says, Matthew's got to be a millionaire. Oh, look at Theodore. He's apologizing for being less than friendly. It's all good in the hood, man. We'll keep it civil and we'll have a good time. All right. Now I'm going to show, first one I'm going to show you guys is one that I think, Matthew, you got me on, and that's this Doom Rider. I think you did. Didn't you send me info on it, or?
Yeah. So I sent you a little bit, like I think it was a couple of days before they ended up doing the drop, and then you ended up telling me you got it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So check this thing out. I think I showed you guys this one the other night, but it was in the package, so you couldn't see. I mean, look how realistic and lifelike this thing looks, man. It is off the charts. And Is this wood? It feels.
It
It's
feels
either.
like
It.
it feels like wood, but I'm pretty sure I think it's resin.
Yeah, I think it's resin too. Now that it's got
But it
really
is a
lifelike.
softer type. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it feels. It feels too. It doesn't feel like balsa.
Nah.
But he's got really nice, lifelike 3D eyes. It's got a single joint. It's got a tail that you can remove and replace. Uh, this color he calls thread fin,
Yeah,
and I don't know if he does other colors or not. This was the only one that was on the website when I went and
yeah, that was the only
bought
one
some.
available at the moment. Yeah,
Look how realistic the scales look on this thing.
they are, man. They look like literally like printed.
They do. They look real.
Yeah,
So you said you already thrown this then.
yeah, yeah.
So what's the action like on it?
Man, I'm telling you, I'm actually liking it more than actually my clash bait recently. Because the way that thing glides is totally different. It's a lot more of like a slower pattern that
Yeah.
just kind of creeps back and forth, but it it moves back and forth to about like 2 feet or
Yeah,
more.
so one thing that's critical for a really good glide bait is you want it to impart its own action while you're retrieving. If it just goes straight, uh-oh, you're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
You really
You do
want it to
not want that.
swim. You want it to swim back
That
and
thing,
forth.
man, it glides. It glides. And then
Yeah.
you can do different types of things. You just crank with a regular crank, like slowly, it's just going to do a wide, really wide glide, about 2 feet,
Okay.
3 feet
Okay.
almost. If you go a little faster, it's going to get a little tighter and tighter. But when you end up going and using the rod tip, that's where you get this little tiny, like, close twitch. Like it will just go like this, real close, instead of doing these wide S type pattern type
Uh-huh.
glides.
Uh-huh.
So what I do is I was going and doing like a real turn, a couple real turns, and then doing that twitch, and it would give the bait a really realistic look, man. And I liked it a lot. And that
Awesome.
print on the bait just helped a lot. And I brought in two huge bass that were like just following it right up. And I
It
never
look
had that with my clash baits. So
It looks so real,
um,
and it's got so many different colors in it too. You wouldn't, I don't think you'd notice it from on the
yeah,
screen, but when you get
the
up
camera
close,
doesn't really do it action, man.
yeah, it's got so many lifelike colors all through these scale patterns that I'm pretty excited to try that one out. So that's by a company called 86 Baits, and he's just a small one man shop, right? Hey, Brian Lee, how's it going, man? And he does really really high quality stuff, but his stuff's really expensive. And you and I were kind of talking about why some of these things are so pricey. um, and one of the reasons these a bait like this is so costly is this dude's making this stuff by hand.
Yeah,
And then he's somehow taking this and from a wooden mold basically into somehow
yeah,
some sort of a resin process. I don't know.
yeah. What they do is they'll pretty much carve that mold down and make a pretty much solid, pretty much mold, which takes about 40 to 50 hours on making that mold. And usually, so they make a new mold every time. I'm pretty sure when they're going to go and process a whole new batch of baits, because after making so many baits, the kind of bait can get distorted over time from
Okay.
pretty much making all those resin molds.
Oh, right, right.
So what they do is they'll make a new mold for that bait and pretty much then process it inside of like a little tiny. I'm pretty sure it's like a. I'm trying to forget the name, but it's like a not a resin. It's like a rubber. It's almost like when they do hand casting, when you go to those casting pretty much
Okay.
places, and they pretty much make a little tiny block, and then they'll end up making that block in the same shape as that mold, and then pretty much end up pouring the resin into that mold after, and then they get that bait, and then they end up sanding it down and pretty much smoothing it out and making it whatever they want to do. And pretty much adjusting it how they want. It
Gotcha.
already has the harnesses in it already from the mold, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So when you listen to how much work goes into these things, I mean, that's really why they cost so much money. And the ones that are cheaper, they've just figured out a much less strenuous way to manufacture stuff. Like, for example, the river to sea S waver, that's made in a factory and just cranked out, by the thousands basically.
Exactly.
But they've figured out a good process for the
But
money.
it just because it's mass produced, it does not mean it's not a bad bait for like a beginner. And that's why, and I think that a lot of people get that confused sometimes when they start getting into swim baits and stuff like that, where they have to go and get into the real expensive baits and buy a $150 bait. It's
Yeah.
not really how it is. And really, if you get into the beginning, starting to use swim baits, I would recommend buying S waiver, because
Yeah.
I know people who've caught 9, 8 pounders on that bait. So
Absolutely.
it works. It's just that they do tune them a little bit, and you will have to find that out. But you find those things out, and then sooner or later you'll end up learning more.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now show us one of yours, Matthew.
All right, yeah. I'll start off with the pretty much Lewd Lures donut. Pretty
Really?
much
So that's called the donut.
has a really heavy glaze on it. That's why pretty much he calls it that. When you first get them, they pretty much look like a little donut, pretty much glazed. So
Glazed donut.
so that's
Yeah.
why they call them that. But the bait is an awesome bait. It glides extremely easy. The reason why I got this bait, to be specific, why I got it was, like I told you, was that I saw this on Matt Steffen's post that he made on YouTube about
Yeah.
this bait. That he said it's really easy to use. It really wasn't hard for him to get used to it. He said that it's literally one of the baits he said he would recommend a beginner to get. And for being a wooden bait,
Yeah.
that pretty much you can get for from the guy himself, Lewd Lures, at Instagram, he'll get you a pretty much reservation on a list. You do have to wait a little while for them, which it is a long wait to wait for this one at the moment. I'm pretty sure a donut is 6 months, but they're
What's
worth
his
the wait.
what's his Instagram account?
It's called Lewd Lures, his
How
Instagram.
do you spell that?
Legrady.
Legrady.
Yep.
Okay.
And he'll literally show everything he does. And I mean, he does amazing work, man. And like I said, all his stuff is custom. He literally carves everything by hand, and literally ends up pretty much making you a custom paint job, whatever you want. And like I said, it swims really natural, pretty much, and it has a really good sound to it when it swims too. You can hear the clanking inside the water. But it really is a good bait. And like I said, I got it because of Matt Steffen, and he recommended it. So I pretty much said, all right, let me see about it. And I did some research, and I saw that a lot of people go crazy for them. So I was like, let me get one, and found one for a really good price and got it.
So that's his Instagram account right there. That's what it's called.
Yep.
So you may want to check it out if you want to get a donut. So have you fished the donut yet?
Yeah, I actually used it just once, but like I said, I test swimmed it, and that's how I found out how it swims a little bit. But I did not fish it for a while yet. But
What
I do think it's really easy to swim.
what do they call that color? It looks like a trout color or
It's
something.
a rainbow trout color.
Okay, rainbow trout. Yeah, looks good.
And his also the glaze that he puts on, or type of finish he does, is extremely thick, so it lasts a long time. The colors, and they don't go right away. Like,
Mhm.
they'll last you a while before you end up chipping the paint. It's not like a clash bait, which is one thing I kind of don't like about the clashes. I will say about that's the only thing I don't like about them, is their paint jobs just don't last. They literally, after one use, you will probably have chipped up probably a quarter of the paint job. on the
Okay,
damn.
so I've got a Clash right here. I'll show you guys. This is the Clash 9, and this is the crappie color, and it looks like a crappie, doesn't it? I mean, it's not really the right shape, but the color pattern
The
definitely
pattern's on point though.
looks
Yeah.
like it is on point. Now, one nice thing about the Clash is they print right on the top the Clash 9. That's not that important, but I like the fact that they put low right on there. So this is a low sinking bait, and that's nice. A couple of features about the Clash that kind of make it unique or interesting. One is the tail, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them about the different things
Well,
that you can do with this tail?
well, the tail, they actually even make a new one actually now too. This transfer tail that they have out too as well, which I got a whole bunch of. And literally they also allow you to do a couple more things as well. But just with that tail alone, with the different lips, you can do probably about 10 different to 12 different things with the bait specifically.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much like limitless if you really want to take it to pretty much, if you're not going to be able to do every single thing. To be honest, I haven't even done every single thing with the bait myself. So,
Yeah. So interesting. If you see this lip here, it's the lip and the tail combination that gives you a lot of different options. So this option here, actually, I've got something on a website here that kind of tells.
yeah, the regular mode will that mode you have in the regular standard mode, that will allow the bait just to pretty much crank down. You can use it almost like a crankbait, and
That's
pretty much
right.
you just crank it and it'll just go right in pretty much just like a crankbait. But what I do with that mode, and I actually use that mode mainly, is I use that in current, and I try to find a stream or anywhere there's some heavy current, and I literally take my rod and dip it in the water and allow the bait just to swim naturally in the current with the bill. And as the bait's just naturally swimming, there's usually pockets of water sitting in between those little river channels,
Yep.
and those pockets of big bass usually like to hang to ambush fish that are traveling through those streams. So
That's
usually
right.
that's what I do. And in the summer, that water's cool. And usually as well in the fall, it works as well. But what I do is tend to do that, and that bait will just swim. And literally, I catch fish barely doing anything. I just literally let the bait swim, and boom, you just feel all of a sudden a hit, and literally just set the hook.
Yeah, so you get kind of like you said, it kind of has a hunting crankbait style action with the lip in and what they call the tail up. I don't know if you can see, but this tail just barely
Yeah,
points up,
angles up. Yep,
angles up. Now you can take the tail out, turn it upside down, then it angles down.
yep.
And
And
with
then
the
that, well, you want to take the bill off pretty much at that point, really. And I would recommend, because really, I mean, you only difference you'll get if having it downwards with the bill is more of like a wobble, and
uh-huh,
that will give you just a little bit more of like an unstable type swing. You can't retrieve it as fast, but
uh-huh.
it is beneficial in certain times. I will recommend it, like using it when there's a lot of like shad around.
Yep.
So it does work, but if you're going to use it more with the tail upside down, put it in the glide mode, and that's where you're going to get your glide and the yoko, which is where you'll get the one side glide,
Yeah.
and pretty much that works really well when you're on banks or weed banks, pretty much. So
So the alternate tail that you can get is vertical. It goes up and down instead of
yeah,
horizontal like this.
that's the regular straight tail.
Yeah. So that's the Clash 9. I can tell you a little bit more about specifics if you're interested. Um, it's 4 ounces. It's 9 inches long, so it's a big swim bait. It's quiet. It does not rattle. It's made out of an ABS plastic,
Yep.
and it's the real deal. It's a fish catcher, boys and girls. The
Yeah, and
Clash.
if you can get them for the regular price, they're worth the money. And honestly, I'll
Yeah.
give out a little secret right now.
Uh-oh.
People won't really like this, but I will give it out. There's not many people in here, so at least I won't give you out too many.
Yeah.
And so every Saturday, Clash releases baits at 10 o'clock, usually um, Eastern Standard Time. But if it's not that, it's usually 11 Eastern Standard Time. So just wherever you're at, just deduce that, and you'll have that time. So usually that's what time it is for me, and that's usually every Saturday.
And
So
that's the DRT USA fishing website.
yeah.
Theodore, man, I love the HUDs as well. HUDs are great baits. They're super durable also. For the money, I mean, a Huddleston's hard to beat, really. So anywho, that all right. Show the guys your Clash and talk about that film that you put on it to protect
Oh,
it
yeah.
from hook rash and stuff.
Yeah. And this is the pretty much Clash I guys, pretty much Joy Thief. This is
Joy
just
Thief is the color, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the color. And also got a tracer on top just for visual. And it has, this is also a reflective tracer. I wish I had a flashlight on, but it actually shines in the sun. So
Okay, so what he's talking about is that strip. If you notice, mine does not have a strip on top of it because it came like this from the factory. He has taken and attached that reflective strip on the back so that he can see it in the water while he's retrieving it.
yep. And so pretty much the wire guard I have here, which is called the G guard that you can get. They're kind of hard to get at the moment, but if you do get them, they're worth getting them, and try to get as many as you can because you're usually not going to find them for a while. But this right here works really well near wood or pretty much anything that has cover, weeds, leaves on top of the grass. So pretty much what this will do is as the pretty much bait goes towards it, it'll just bounce right over. And it
Yeah.
pretty much doesn't keep the bait running into it. It actually kind of, whenever it hits wood, that's what it does. It just bounces and ends up going boom and upwards over and it just keeps going. So, but when you do that, if you do end up having the ability to get this, don't slow down, because if you slow down, usually what ends up happening, the bait will end up hanging up somewhere within the sticks or twigs, whatever there is there. You usually want to continue moving that bait through because it continues the motion, and that usually that guard will continue moving it through. So
Careful
that's
around
just
that hook,
my
man.
recommendation. Yeah.
Okay, so another reason that I thought it would be good to have you on is I know from all your pictures and from our communications, you're a bank fisherman. And I think some guys would say, I can't throw a big swim bait or a big glide bait from the bank. I need a boat. And you're living proof that you don't need a boat to fish glide baits. So what are some tips? What are some tips though, if you're going to fish glide baits from the bank that you follow to save your lure? Because they're not, like you said, that DRT you're throwing there, that's a lot of money.
Well,
You
see, the
obviously
thing
don't want to
is,
lose it.
from the bank, mainly the only time I really had the ability to save a lure was like a couple months back, and it was actually by luck. And it was an eye slide, honestly. But what I did learn, it was a big lesson from it. And it was real cold out, and honestly, it was dangerous what I was doing because the water was extremely cold. But I had freaking got a little tiny little tiny boat that I had, and it wasn't the most stable thing ever. And I got it, and it literally looked for the lure in the water to find it, and ended up retrieving it finally because I found it attached to it was like a dead old root to a lilies,
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
lily pads.
Okay.
And it got stuck, and I was like, oh my god, are you serious? And it was literally just stuck there. And
Wow.
I had some heavy line on too, and I was like, damn, that thing is literally that hard to like pull it off. And it literally broke my line, but I ended up coming back and found it. But I found it by accidentally just rowing the damn boat I had on it and hit the bait, and then it just floated up. And I was like, what the heck? And I just ended up grabbing it.
Was it a 262 or smaller?
No, it was the 175.
Okay. The
This
ice
one,
slide is made. The ice slide is a beautiful bait made by Mega Bass, guys. If you don't
yeah,
know,
this one right here, pretty much.
dude, that thing's what, $100 or something?
No, these are actually $60.
$60, but still,
Yeah.
you lost a $60 lure,
No,
and
no,
you
I was
retrieved
able to
it,
get it back at
and you
least.
retrieved it.
Yeah,
Cool,
but
awesome.
like I said, but it's really what you gotta realize is that it's gonna happen. That sooner or later you're gonna end up losing a lure, and you might not be able to get it, and it's just gonna happen. But
That's right.
try it. And what I do is I do also have a lure retriever just in case if it does get snatched or stuck near me within like 10, 15 feet away. I can use my lure retriever and get it out usually, but from the bank. But if if not that, I try to at least what I'll do is cut the line, get a bottle, like a water bottle, and attach it to the line. And then I'll come back later and come back so I have it as a marker. And I'll come back with a boat, a small little boat, and then you use it, get out into the water and actually pull it out that way.
Yep.
So,
Yep. You're right though. Losing baits is part of fishing, man, and it's going to happen at some point. So if you're the type person who just there's no way I could afford to lose it, or I would just be mad forever, just don't throw it because you're gonna.
yeah,
It's just not worth it. It's not
you just
worth
got
it.
to be ready to lose it. But I just be really careful. That's what I do. And they say, oh yeah, you can't catch fish. You're just careful. But yeah, I mean, if you just got to know what you're doing. If
Yep.
you wait too long, you just got to figure out how fast that bait's gonna sink. If you get a slow sink, that's why I really don't like slow sink baits. I
Yeah.
try to get a slow float,
Yeah.
and then try to adjust that to wherever I can to where it'll sink a little bit and then it'll slowly come right back up. I really don't like slow sinks, but that's the reason why I like that Doom Rider that you got. And because that thing, man, it sinks pretty much like I think it's a foot every 6-7 seconds, man. It is extremely slow,
Gotcha.
and it sinks amazing, and that's why I like that because you can at least for someone who's just starting out, or say someone that wants to buy an expensive bait but don't want to get it hung up. I think that would be a good choice because that really just doesn't go far. It you can control the depth pretty well.
Yeah. Booster. Swim bait fishing may not be you if you get mad losing a 35-cent sinker and a 50-cent hook.
Yeah,
May not be for you, buddy.
yeah.
Well,
But hey, man, I understand it. It's money.
that's
You
right.
know.
It is money. All right. Is it your turn to show a bait or is it mine?
Uh, no, I think you showed the crappie. So yeah,
Yeah, it's yours.
yeah. So I got this week. I got a Lewd Lizard,
Woo.
which is a pretty hard bait to get. They're from New York. They make wooden baits mainly, but what are really they're known for, and what those baits go for on the second hand is ridiculous. A wooden triple double from a Lewd goes right now on second hand for 300 to 350.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a little crazy. I got this one right here for 125, the Lizard. So it's pretty much almost $30 above market price. So it's not too bad, but for the action that I pretty much wanted from this bait that it has, it's pretty sick. And you wouldn't think the action it has is what it is,
Yeah, it
but
doesn't look like it would be.
man, if you look it up, go whenever you have the chance after this video, look up a Lewd Lizard, and I'm
How do you
telling you,
spell
man,
that? A-L-L?
ILLUDE.
I-L-L. Okay. Is the tail replaceable?
Yep, it comes with actually 2 tails, and you can buy more tails on their website. Well, and then also you can insert a skirt through the tail, and
Really?
what you do is skirt goes in the back of the tail, and as the tail wags inside the water, you end up getting the secondary action from that skirt that moves side to side, and it kind of swishes. So you almost get like a two-piece action with this bait, which is pretty weird, but almost but still have that
Well, that's
wide.
what I was going to say. It's not jointed, so I wouldn't think it would have much action. But
Yeah,
you're
but
saying it does.
I'm telling you, man, it's actually I think better than two-piece lizard they make.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
Well, you could always use it as a Pinewood Derby car, apparently, according to Adam, also.
And
So
then also it has
what color is that? Like a
this is a
morning dawn
purple.
or something?
No, it's a purple bone.
Purple bone.
And so and then also has swiveling hook hangers, so you can pretty much rotate them full 360.
Oh yeah. Now
So
that's a nice feature when you have a big bait that does the 360
yep.
swivel. But that's really nice because
And it has that.
that's how you lose a lot of fish.
Yeah, man, I agree with that because I think that's really a bonus on really any bait you get that's big. And it has this really wide bill too as well. That's why I think it gets really mainly all the action from. And it just goes real wide, man. And it looks like a rat, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
And you wouldn't think it would look like that, but it looks just like a rat swimming in like a little S pattern on top of the water. It's pretty sweet.
Very interesting. Cool, cool, cool. All right. We probably ought to let somebody try to win something here for a minute. All right. I'm gonna do name that lure tonight instead of asking questions, and I'm not gonna do swim baits because I know a few of you would kill it on the swim baits, and a lot of you wouldn't at all. So I've got a theme here though on my name that lure tonight, and see if you guys can figure out what the theme is. So first up, name this lure. Now, this should be easy for you guys because I showed this on the last live stream. Name that lure. John Smith. You got it, dude. It's the cowboy. See, he pays attention when he's watching, when he's on a live stream. You can always count on John Smith. He's a sharp cat. Brian Lee, you're funny, buddy. All right, John, let's spin for you, dude. Oh, I'm just going to get my chair around here, and guess I might need to. No, I don't need to turn it down. All you really need to see is this anyway. John Smith. I'm doing good, Alan. Thanks for hopping on, man. All right, John Smith's from Canada, so he gets my Canadian gift card, and he landed on the one. So let me put that down so I don't forget that I owe him another gift card. Thanks for playing, John. All right, let me show you the next lure. I'm going to show you this one because of something you just said, which was you don't like a sinking bait. You prefer a floating bait. And I've got one in particular here that is a floater. But because of the way the bill is shaped and the way the thing's made, if you retrieve this lure, just a normal retrieve, it will dive. It will dive down to 5 feet deep, and then as soon as you let off on that, it will float up to the surface. So this gives you some versatility, especially if you're a bank fisherman and you're worried about it dropping, getting snagged because of the way it sinks or it sinks too fast. This is a floater. You can dead stick it and it'll just sit there. You can twitch it. It'll just sit there. But then if you want it to go down some, just start retrieving and it will dive 5 feet. What is this, you may ask? It is the Attic Annie 175 MR. And this color is natural gill. And it has a joint, but one of the things that's different about it is it has a free moving tail, and this tail is like a super hard plastic.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got the bill. It's got the nice beefy bill, which helps it get down. Very nice looking lure. It's 6.8 inches and it weighs 1.9 ounces. And it has number 2 hooks made in Japan from a company called Cultiva. And it has a pretty hard kicking action. Another thing that it's supposed to do well is it's supposed to clack really loud in the water. And, you know, sometimes you want loud clacking, sometimes you don't. And it's got a pretty nice checkered gill plate pattern on it. You know, you can see that's supposed to give it a little more lifelike look. I've actually got a couple of colors with this one. I've got this one, which is the natural gill, and then I've got one called Natural Pearl Shad. Let me show you it. If I can reach it. It's still in the package. And Natural Pearl Shad just kind of has like a purplish on the back and then a very light, subtle pearl side to it. So that's pretty cool. The Annie 175 MR.
I've never seen the glide bait one.
What do you think of that one, Matthew?
I think that one's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. I think I got that one at Tackle Warehouse.
Oh.
That's where I got that.
But the one I know, the wake bait though, the Annie is really good wise as like a top water. If you go really, really slow.
Yes.
I heard it really works really well.
Yep. I got that one. I'll show that one to you guys in a little bit. All right. What do you got coming up, Matthew? Let's see what you got.
Well, what I'll do is actually I'll show both of them since it's actually 2 baits of the same thing. Okay. But I got 2 new ones this week. A Lewd Switchblade is another Lewd, and so these are Switchblade wake type crank downs. This one right here is goes a little more deeper. The bill is a little more bigger. Let me get the angle right. So the one on the, like I said, this one here is a little bit bigger, so it'll go a little bit deeper. But they're pretty much like almost like a UFO, but pretty much like a lewd version. So they'll pretty much clank. Let me take off this.
Sounds really noisy.
Nah, those are the clips. So yeah, but it makes a little bit of noise, but it's not too bad. But like I said, it's nice and it swims really natural in the water when it's going crank down, and it pauses it because it actually floats. It doesn't sink, so that's a good thing. And number 2, that's why I said the multi-joint wise, I don't like baits that sink with the multi-joints. That's why I really don't use the bait bullshit as much. But when I do use it, I just burn it pretty much just to keep it from hitting the bottom.
Right.
And so that's pretty much all I do with it. But at these, at least I can go a little bit more slower and decide whether or not if I want to go fast or slow, because you can go fast with these and it'll just start cranking down. If you go slow, it'll just crank it on the top and get about maybe a foot down at most. If you're going a little bit, moderate speed, not fast. So you have plenty of different depths that you could do, and that one is the shad pattern, and this is the crappie pattern that I got.
Nice.
And they come with replaceable tails that you can change with toothpicks that you just pretty much insert on the back. So it's pretty easy, and the tail is extremely soft. I mean, like really soft, and it's just like almost like a soft plastic. It's weird. But they work really well, man, and I heard a lot of good things about them. So that's why I had to scoop them, because someone was just getting rid of them for cheap. Not cheap, but a lot less than what they were worth. So
man, that is awesome.
I had to get them.
It's hard to find those kind of deals.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. What time we got here? Yeah, let's do another name that lure. Let's see what I got here that I can Let's do this. I don't know if I've asked you guys this one before or not. I think I did, and I think most of you guys didn't know this one, but we'll try it anyway. Here it is. Name that lure. Theodore's asking if the tails are Elastec. I bet they're probably not. Oh, you said no, they're regular soft plastic. Curly Q. Curly Q. Got it. Hadn't seen Curly Q in a while. Fellow electrician out there. You got it, dude. You were right, man. The fat Ika. Or Ika. I think it's pronounced Ika.
Yeah, it's
not a lot of guys throw this, but it's a pretty darn good lure.
Yeah, it is.
Congratulations.
Really, you can use it actually really just on by itself on a regular hook, and not many people do that. And you just put it backwards and allow the hook to pretty much be on the other opposite side, so that the skirt side is facing opposite from you.
That's right. So, that's right. Yeah. And if you do that, it will pendulum. It will pendulum away from you under your cover, like if you're trying to get under something. So, yeah, you know your stuff. That's good. All right, Curly Q, we better spin for you, man. See if he's gonna win. We had a couple of strikeouts last week.
Yeah.
Actually, last week I was driving back, so I didn't do it. But the week before, oh, Curly Q, bam, man, buddy. Sorry. The good news is you get your name in the drawing to win the next big prize, which I don't know what the next big prize is. In fact, I got to put John's in there too. And you can still win tonight. You can still try to win. It's not all over. Man, maybe I jinxed him by mentioning the red X. All right, Curly Q, there's your ticket, though. I'm going to put that in the deal for you. And do John's as well. Yeah, so why do you fish swim baits, Matthew? What's in it for you?
I pretty much fished them pretty much due to, I don't know, I got, like I said, I got into it pretty much just randomly looking on YouTube. I was just watching a video and I saw a guy catching a big fish on I think it was a depth 250, I'm pretty sure it was. And,
oh yeah.
And I didn't really focus on I was like, wait a minute, what is this? I was like, how the hell are they using these big baits to catch regular bass? And I really didn't, focus on it too much. So I was like, why would you use that instead of something that you can catch big fish with on a regular jig or something,
Yeah.
So then I really started messing with it and looking into more videos, and then I ended up getting into Oliver Nye and all those other guys that were more background.
Oliver Nye can get you into it for sure, can he?
Yes, he can.
He's got some great videos.
And
this is
so
this is the depths 250 Matthew was talking about. This is what a depths 250 looks like. Slide swimmer, the 250 slide swimmer. Yeah, in case you didn't know.
And so then I just pretty much ended up getting pretty much into fishing that way, messing with the swim baits, and ended up getting more interested in that way. So what I did was ended up just buying random baits. I think my first bait was an eye slide that I got, and I was using the small little eye slides 135s, and I was catching a lot of fish on them, and I had a lot of success with those. So then I ended up buying the 175, and I caught a couple fish on those, then kept going up and up, and then I ended up branching out into other companies, because I was really more of the JDM thing at that time. I was more just buying JDM brand type baits, not swim baits. And so I ended up getting to that swim bait type of fishing when I realized a lot of the Japanese guys were doing that as well. And I was like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
they might be onto something, you know? So, but I also noticed that they're not always fishing big baits. You know, they'll
Yeah.
fish sometimes small little swim baits that are maybe 5 inches, 4 inches long, and
Yeah.
they're catching 8, 10 pounders somehow.
Yeah.
So, you know, it matters. And like I said, that's what you really got to realize on the swim baits is that not always you need a 8, 10 inch long bait to catch a good sized fish. And
Well, you're right. If you know your forage and what they eat, it really helps. The reason Butch Brown became so famous is that
yeah,
dude understood that the bass out in California were big trout eaters. He would follow the conservation guys around. When they released the trout, he'd go right behind them and fish behind
well,
them.
his best friend was a biologist.
Yeah, he knew his stuff, man. He was excellent, excellent, and his videos are amazing to watch too.
Yeah, they are.
Um, what about rod and reel line setups? That's a good question, Curly Q.
Well, what I do is I have really just 3 rods I really mainly use for my swim baits type of deal. And what I use is the Akuma SPX rod,
Mhm.
which is let me see if I can show it in here. It's kind of small, but I pretty much have the SPX carbon rod. Uh, it's it's pretty much an Akuma rod, and it's a pretty much carbon blank all the way through. Goes, I even have a carbon handle all the way.
Uh-huh.
And so that's a heavy rod. This one is meant for my 5 ounce and up baits.
Okay.
So that I mainly use for like my ghost and other things that are in that size range. But
Mhm.
anything else beyond that, I'm using the Fury 795 rod that I have, and that one I like more because it has more of like a parabolic bend to it. So with the treble baits, I'd like to have a nice bend with them because when those fish are thrashing and pretty much moving around, man, I don't like that rod to be pulling back on the fish more than I'm already pulling on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for
I want
sure.
that rod to pretty much start loading up as soon as those fish put tension on that bait. And then as I'm pretty much setting that hook, the hook just goes right in.
Heck
And
yeah.
then as those fish jump, you know, that rod has that bending and cushion to where if they start thrashing around on top of the coat poly that you're using, or pretty much a fluoro that's not that heavy or, you know, too stiff, that you'll end up being able to allow that bait to move with the rod and not just pretty much be yanked right out the fish's mouth. So I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think also it's pretty important to understand how heavy your lure is before you go out and buy a rod. And in fact, we talked about this last week a little bit, and that is if you're just getting into swim bait fishing, don't go out and buy a bunch of rods and reels and that kind of stuff. Just use the heaviest rod you've got and buy a swim bait that's light enough to work on the rod you've already got.
Yeah,
You know, obviously you don't want to throw a Clash 9. It's 4 ounces. You probably don't have any rods out there that can handle a 4 ounce lure. But some of these smaller baits, you know, they're only a couple of ounces or an ounce and a half even. A lot of your regular heavy rods will handle those just fine. Play with that, practice with that until you start to know what you want. And then you can start thinking about really what you need to come up with first is what are the kind of baits I really want to fish? What do those baits weigh? And then tailor your equipment around that.
pretty much. I agree
So
with that.
that's a really good point you
You
make
really
there.
don't want to go too crazy in the beginning, you know. Like I said, not everyone is their type of, you know, cup of tea. They like it, they get into it because they see a lot of people get into it, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not what the people like, you know. And but like I said, there's many different types of swim bait fishing, like you just said, that you can start
Mhm.
off with a smaller bait and start using those, and you'll, be still using a swim bait. It's not crazy big, but it's a swim bait, and at least you can have fun and catch fish.
In fact, my first swim bait rod was really an A-rig rod because I was throwing A-rigs before I was throwing big swim baits, and it handled 2-3 ounce weight fine, and it worked great.
Yeah, it should, because that 795, it even says it could be used for a rig as well. So that's actually perfect.
It is, and then you can upgrade. Then I went out and I bought one of the Dobbins rods, and then I bought a Loomis rod and a Mega Bass rod, and I've got several nice swim bait rods now. But you don't need to start with that. In fact, the Mag Draft 5-inch that John Smith and Mad Swim Baiter and stuff have been talking about, that's another great entry level lure to give it a try. It's not a glide bait, but here's one right here actually. Let's see here if I can get it off my hook here. This one's bigger than the 5-inch, but this is a Mag Draft by Mega Bass, and they're $25 or less. The 5-inchers are probably I don't know what they are, how much they cost. They're probably $12-13.
Yeah, $12. Yeah.
So you can get this in a smaller version and just go crush them with your normal. In fact, I got a smaller one here. This might be that size here.
Got the
exact one. Oh, do you? This is a biggie. This is the small one.
Yeah, the 8-inch.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, man.
They are fish catching lures, man. They really are.
Work.
So anyway, that's cool. Let's see here. Let's do another name that lure here. Here we go. This one should be fairly easy for some of you guys. I don't know if you guys.
Only weighs, I think it's 2 ounces or 3.
What is?
The 8-inch one. I'm answering one of the person's questions.
Gotcha.
The 8-inch, I think, is 2 or 3 ounces, and then the 6-inch, I think, is only 1 ounce.
Yeah. So and that's what I started with, was that smaller size, and dude, it's sold.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of those 6-inches, man. I have like 6-7 different colors.
They're great.
Yeah.
All right, name that lure. Here it is. John says the 5-inch is 3/4 of an ounce. Pop Tart. You got it. Flapping Hog. Adam was just behind you. The Flapping Hog. I don't know if you guys have figured out what the theme tonight is, but Pop Tart is right. All right, let's spin for Pop Tart. No clue. No clue on the theme yet, huh? I know some of you guys probably are starting to see a theme there. Mr. Matt, serious question. If there are serious fish catching lures, why don't you throw them all the time? E.g. Upper Mississippi River. Well, man, you're putting me on the spot, Booster. That's an excellent question. Curly Q's figured the theme out. We got one. So what's Pop Tart want? Have they said yet? He wants miscellaneous. Okay. Miscellaneous today is the Castaic solid leg frog in black.
I've never seen those.
Castaic black frog. All right, so Booster, Great question. And here's one of those crazy things. A lot of times you go to a place like, say, the Upper Mississippi that I went last week, and you hear tons of chatter like swim jig, swim jig, swim jig. And you say to yourself, well, I don't throw swim jigs a lot. But everybody says swim jigs are killing it up there. So I'm going to take a swim jig and I'm going to fish a swim jig. And you might do well and you might not. Well, you may throw a Cinco all the time back home. Cincos are fish catching. They're amazing. They catch fish everywhere you go. So you might say to yourself, well, why wouldn't you throw a Cinco instead? Well,
Yeah.
I probably should have. The guy who won was throwing a Cinco, right? But there's all kinds of things that get in the way of that. And here's the other thing. You know as well as I do, Booster, that just because a lure is a fish catching machine, just like a Cinco is a fish catching lure, there are times when you will not be able to get bit on a Cinco. They'll just be finicky, or there'll be something going on with the conditions, and they won't bite a Cinco, and it doesn't make sense because every other time you've been out there, they bite them. So there's no such thing as a 100% of the time foolproof lure that's going to work every single time. If there were, there wouldn't be much challenge in fishing, for sure. All right. What do you got next, Matthew? You got another one to show?
I think I went, didn't I?
Okay, then I'll go next. All right, here is my next lure. Check that bad boy out. We mentioned Butch Brown. This color is by Butch Brown. It's the
Perfect size, man.
Butch Brown American Shad. And this is the Depths Slide Swimmer 145. So it's a lot small. It's kind of a bite-sized morsel compared to the Depths 250. I'll show you next to the Depths 250, though, how it compares. And then you'll give you a little better perspective.
I think that's a perfect beginner size, to be honest.
Yeah. So much, much smaller. What do we know about smaller swim baits, though, Matthew?
They get smashed.
They get smashed. You get more bites on the small ones than you do the big ones. The big ones, though, you got a lot better chance of a ginormous donkey. But this is a really cool color, very natural looking. I'm pretty excited about trying this out. A couple of things that make the Depths a little different than other swim baits is the outside of it is kind of soft, and it's basically is an ABS injected core inside. It's hard inside, but it's got this coating on the outside that feels like a plastic rubber-like coating that really gives it a nice feel. And they say that this coating really protects the lure well from teeth and hook rash and that kind of stuff.
It protects the paint job for a pretty long time.
It does. It makes it a very durable swim bait. So it's kind of like a soft plastic skin. This is 5.7 inches long. It's slow sinking. It only weighs 1.8 ounces. So this is another one that you could start out with one of your heavy rods, probably, and do fine. So I really like that one. Probably should have bought more than one, but what can you do? Covered in plastic. You're right, Theodore. All right. What do you got? What do you want to show us?
Anything? I got this is what I got. Another bait that I got this week from a guy that I know on Swim Bait Underground. I got a Toxic Bugle. It's a pretty much small wake bait. That's
interesting.
Made out of
that tail resin. Looks like a lot of movement in that tail.
Yeah, it's pretty soft.
Yeah, it looks it.
And then like I said, it makes a pretty much
squeaky.
Yeah. And so it has that pretty much like wide angle. It's pretty wide for a wake bait. And so
yeah.
And So what it does is on the water, it'll just wake. And you could also, if you want, weight it down a little bit and it'll get it's like subsurface. But really, where this shines is more of on top of the water, a slow crawl, and you can also burn it, and it will just literally fly, and it won't burn out really. So it's pretty good on that. So that's why I like that also. But
Cool.
I got that's why I got it was really because you can burn it as well as go really slow, and that allowed me to have more than just one thing, that's what I like. Is more baits that are versatile instead of just having them have one bait that does one thing and you won't be able to do anything with it. So, and that's what I tend to see is that most guys that baits that only do one thing, they tend to get rid of. And mostly they want stuff that does a little bit more than just one thing.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and or you could also tune it as well to make it a little different. And they like those type of baits instead of just having a one bait that just does one glide or just
Mm-hmm.
one type of movement.
Yeah.
And that's what I like too. And that's why I get the baits that I get because they do multiple different things, or you can alter them to do multiple different things. And
Versatile.
yeah, and that's really what I want. And this is I think it's a shiner bone color. The bottom is just bone,
Uh-huh.
and the top just pretty much looks like a shiner slash carp type look. But
Yeah.
it's a nice color, and then the
Yeah.
top has like a splattered paint
Uh-huh.
type look to it. And then I have also a wake crank and a Trusha coming tomorrow in the mail as well. So
Cool.
yeah.
So John wants to know, Matthew, how do you store your swim baits for bank fishing?
Well, I have a swim bait wrap. I actually have it in my kitchen at the moment, but
Go get it. Go get it. Let's see it,
uh,
man.
yeah.
They want to see it. And while you're getting that, I'll do another. Name that lure. Name that lure. All right. What in the world is this? What is this thing? What in the world could that be? Gabriel, you got it, buddy. It's the twin tail grub. I think he meant grub, so I'll give him that. It's the twin tail grub. This makes a great trailer, jig trailer, and super lure. Super lure. This is the 5-inch twin tail grub or double tail grub. I would have taken either one, but that's it. And Gabriel got it. So I need to put Gabriel on here and spin for him. All right, Gabe. Here we go, buddy.
Oh.
KVD. I got to
Uh,
make sure Gabe's not a Canadian, though.
oh no.
Gabe, are you in Canada or not, buddy?
Hopefully it's not.
Let's see here. A lot of guys don't throw twin tail grubs as trailers anymore, and I think you're mistaken. All right, he's not from Canada, USA all the way. All right, buddy. Good deal then. Let me grab you something out of the KVD crate. While I'm doing that, take it away, Matthew.
Alrighty. And also if anyone I remember I saw a comment earlier about the depth sweep pillar. This is the depth sweep pillar right here. I ended up losing the tail, so they're really hard to get. So I ended up converting it with a clash tail, tiny clash tail, and it works just as good. And it works really well with it actually, and you can do a little bit more things with it. But it also has a lip that you put in it, which is what I use it before,
Nice.
and I end up putting the lip in and pretty much use it like that, and it's pretty rashed up, pretty good, and used it pretty well, and caught at least like 6, 7 fish off of it. It's all destroyed on the bottom from the weights, all mangled up from teeth, but it's pretty cool and it worked really well. And I've caught really good amount of fish on it, and I used it mainly near like weeds and pretty much grass, and it worked really well. It only goes about 3 feet deep, but since I put suspend weights on it and tuned it out, it does this really weird action where it goes to the side when you twitch it really hard, and then it comes back, and it pretty much looks like a dying fish, like fluttering to the side. So that works. But here goes the stuff that I use to pretty much for the bank. Recently, I've gotten this right here, which is a pretty much swim bait underground wrap type thing. It's the large one, so it's really meant for like the ghost, which is pretty much what I have in here at the moment. But it
see if this makes it easier.
No. It uses the pretty much padding right here, so I have the ghost in here. It fits perfectly.
Gotcha.
But what it is you can fit multiple packages, like multiple different type of lures in here if you wanted to, instead of using a big type of lure in there. So what I do is I end up stacking lures in here, and they perfectly fit in there. And it comes with a little also compartment in there as well for your like tails or whatever you want to have in there, stuff like that, extra tails.
Gotcha. Cool.
So I end up also having the other wrap, which is the big wrap that they have.
Yeah.
This one is the main one that I use a lot that I have. And that one, I have my Joker and a Rego in there and the Class 9.
Excellent. Excellent. Cool.
So then these really work really well, and they hold, like I said, you can hold like 4 big lures, or you can do more smaller type of lures, and also put lures in these pouches here. You'll just have to have hook covers on them, or they'll grab the fabric. So that's the only difference.
Nice.
That's what I really use those for. And then I also use those lure lock boxes, the ones that don't have any type of segments in them, and they're kind of compact.
Yeah.
So I use those for my clash box and my tiny clash box, and I have pretty much, hold on one second, I have a whole box of them, and then I also use it to store, like, see, it pretty much stores them perfectly.
Wow, those look great, dude.
And they don't come off, nothing. So they're pretty good.
That's great. No, I mean, those lure lock boxes are great for that kind of stuff, though. It's good, really good.
They work really well, man. I like them, and they really haven't affected the paint or anything like that. They're not like that really abrasive or that strong to really mess up the paint.
Yeah.
So and I've noticed, and I even have one here that's all rashed up from using it so much, and it hasn't taken any paint from this bait at all. So
cool.
It's pretty good.
A fish in the Southeast wants to know what you think about the manifold Castellanan swim bait.
Castellanan. Yeah, they're pretty good. I haven't used them specifically myself, but I heard a lot of great things about them. And also, I think there's a couple videos out there on YouTube about them of guys really liking them, and then also Oklahoma worst fishing. Oklahoma's worst
angler.
Sam. He uses those a lot too. He says he loves them, and so they're a really good lure, I think. I just haven't actually got them. I was gonna get one, but I didn't get it. And but I think they look really sweet, to be honest. And you could do tons of different things with them if you want to do something like that. And it's pretty cool. I would pull the trigger on it.
All right, Gabe and Pop Tart, there's your tickets. And Gabe, here's your prize. It's the Strikes King Swinging Sugar Buzz bait. It's a good time of year to throw a buzzbait. So congratulations, man. All right, nice. Let me put these tickets in here real quick.
Yeah.
All right. I like your lure lock idea. I might actually do that because I've got several lure lock boxes, and
They work, man. It works for those smaller baits. It's perfect. And then I also have a I don't know where the hell it's at actually. I didn't have it in my kitchen. I forgot. Oh no, it's right here on my thing. But it's my Hiroshima mat lure wrap. I use.
okay.
Those are pretty
I've
good.
got some Plano wraps that I use as well. Those work pretty good.
Oh yeah, those are good too.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tackle Warehouse ones as well. I just hear that those you gotta just be careful with. If you put the lures in there wet, just be careful to make sure open the flap when you're done so they air out or
Oh
not.
yeah.
It can rust really bad. So just be careful with that.
Illuminathan said he caught something on the popper I sent him. Cool.
All right.
Little
I've
B.
caught actually a lot of fish on
Have
the
to
lure you
found
sent
a
me.
solution to your. Oh. Yeah, the jig box. I'm good. I'm cool with the jig boxes the way that I got them going now. The little B. I like my modified jig box, and I still use the Plano ones as well. If you've got tall weed guards, they're a problem. That's the biggest problem with them. So I use those
Yep.
Gamakatsu boxes, and I like them. I think they work pretty good. All right, let me show you my next swim bait here. That's kind of cool. This is new on the market. I think this is a pretty new bait out there. It's called the IU Clone 180.
Hookup tack.
Yeah, how about that? Pretty sweet, man. And one thing I was surprised about when I took this out of the box to look at it is how pliable.
Yeah.
It's got like a rubber coating on it that moves. I mean, it's very soft and
Yep.
squishy. You know, see how squishy that is?
When you showed it, it was pretty different. I didn't know it was that
Yeah.
soft.
And of course, it's got the marker on it, so you can see it good underwater. It looks just like an incredible size. I think this size is just gonna slay them. And this specific color is kind of cool looking too.
Yeah, that's sweet.
They call it the Imago. So who knows what Imago means? But
Probably some sort of bait fish.
yeah, it definitely looks cool.
It looks like a perch though.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a perch. It's 7 inches long. It's 2 ounces, and it's a slow sinker. And it has a hard plastic core, and then it's got this soft, very soft outer body. I wonder how it's going to hold up to teeth because
I think it'll be all right.
It feels awesome. You can see how much movement you get in that tail too. It's a very soft.
I saw a test swim of it. It looks pretty cool. It glides. I think that's where its success is at.
The only thing that worries me is if this tail gets bitten off, you're done. There's no replacing it. There's no replacing it. And it has size 2 hooks on it, but I'm digging it. So that's and this one's pretty reasonably priced compared to some of them out there on the market. This thing's like $45.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So really, really kind of a cool bait. The IU Clone 180. 180 meaning whenever they do these numbers, whether it's 262 or 250 or 180, it's usually in millimeters length, how long the lure is. So what do you think about the IU Clone? You going to get you one of those?
I was going to give me one, but then I think they sold out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they might be sold out. I don't know.
But I was looking at it, and at first I didn't pull the trigger on it, but it looked like a decent lure, and I didn't know it was that soft, but I did see a video of it gliding, and it glided pretty good side to side, and I think that's where it kind of like shined. And it also, what I like too is that for being the soft bait, it kind of like, I'm pretty sure it slowly sinks, but I think it like suspends. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it says it's a slow sinker.
Huh.
Soft jointed, big bait, slow sinking.
Interesting. Because the guy, when he was showing it, kind of like stopped sinking. It was weird.
Here's a QR code you can scan if you want. Anybody wants to scan this, I'll hold it up for a second. You can go find out about the IU clone. Nice bait. All right. Show us your next one, Matthew, and then I'll do another. Name that lure.
Alrighty. And I got this one I think it was a couple weeks ago. And this was but I have not used it fully yet to the point where I've caught a fish on it. I've used it a couple times test swimming, but that's it. But I love the swim on it, and it's a Hiroshima from Japan, Gilrilla, and it's a small little bluegill type bait, and it is a little tiny glide bait.
It looks so fat.
Yep, it's real thick, and it has a little gold stomach. But this is I think it's summer gill was released in July of this year. But it's a real nice bait. Slowly sinks real slow. It comes with quad hooks on it.
Oh, quads.
Yep, little quads. And and they're really nice and sticky. I like them a lot. And like I said, it's a really sweet bait, and it glides real nice. It has this fluent action in the water that's real nice. If you just reel it on a steady retrieve, it'll glide real nice for you. You don't have to really do anything. And then if you just switch it, it'll just go side to side like that.
Really?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and I think it's worth money. And I'm surprised that people sell them because I feel like they would work really well in the spring. So that's what I really can't wait to use them for. So
yeah, I bet you're right. On beds, that thing would really be something.
And like I said,
what's that thing run?
This one here is I got it. I think it was 120 something. I got it for a steal, but you get these from him specifically. I think for 159 or 160.
Wow.
So they are expensive, but they're all handmade, and like I said, they are made out of a mold. But this is resin; it's not wood, so it doesn't make a really crazy loud thunk like the other one does. But it still catches fish, and a lot of people like them a lot. And like I said, it has a really unique type of face to it. I think the face looks really kind of unique, but it looks pretty cool to me. And like I said, it swims really well. You would not think it has a wide swim, but it swims pretty wide for a tiny bait. It's not really big, but it does weigh a lot. You wouldn't think it would weigh as much as it weighs, but it's a 3-ounce bait.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it's only like the size, not even like my hand is way bigger. Like it's only the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
So it's not really big, and it's a really snackable size where fish could easily 2-3 pounds could eat that. So
George, I agree with you. Matthew looks like he's going to stick his hand every single time. His hands are all around those hooks. He's going ran.
I'm just too comfortable messing with him, man.
I guess he is, dude. You're very relaxed. After I got that hook in my hand on that Clash 9, boy, I'm a little more careful than I used to be. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm careful, man. Now after I got that thing in my thumb, man, I still got the damn hole.
Yeah.
But freaking after that, man, I try to be careful, real careful. I just use those fish grippers whenever I have the fish. I just grab the line, put the grippers in the mouth, take the bait out, and then that's putting my hand right back in the mouth, and that's it.
Right on. Okay, guys, here's your next lure. Name that lure. Here it is. What in the world is that?
Can't even see it. Huh. I don't even know. Yeah, I see it, but I don't even know what it is.
Okay.
Huh.
If you don't know, remember the theme. I'll give it to Crappie Kev. It's called the shad-shaped worm. The
Who's it by?
shad-shaped worm.
Who makes that? Oh. Huh.
Great drop shot bait. One of the absolute best lures out there for drop shotting. The shad-shaped worm. The Kitech flapping shad. Man, some of you guys are creative. The D-shad, the swim cinco, the flapping shad, but it's called the shad-shaped worm. All right. Crappie Kev. I don't think Crappie Kev has won before unless he changed his name on me. Usually I got a pretty good.
I haven't heard of him either.
I got to get him a ticket here first. So you mentioned we were talking about the S waiver, and we talked about the mag drafts. What other entry level swim bait do you suggest for a guy just getting started? Doesn't obviously we got to think about money. They're not going to spend $100.
I got a couple. Actually, if you want to get into soft swim baits,
spinning for you, Kev.
Or honestly, if you want to get into like something like a, hold on, let's wait till this wheel spins and then I'll do it.
All right. Angel, Guardian Angel. All right. If you're new to the channel, what happens when you land on Guardian Angel is you win a lure, and you can pick one person in the comments to win a lure as well. So, Kev, why don't you pick someone first in the comments to win a prize, and then I'll get your prize for you. Booster says that H2O Express has a 4-inch and 5-inch jointed swim bait. Yeah, you're probably right. I bet those are not pricey either, are they, Booster? They're probably what, 10, 12 bucks, 15 bucks at the most, I bet.
All right. And so okay, I picked it.
All right, Crappie Kev picked a little B. So Crappie Kev, do you want soft plastic, hard bait, or something out of the miscellaneous bucket? And the little B knows the deal. Savage Gear has a 3D panfish. Not sure how much, but they look cool. Huh? Like a bluegill, maybe?
Yeah. Savage Gear stuff is pretty good. That's a good starter bait.
All right. Crappie Kev wants hard bait.
Shining Glide.
All right. Here you go. 6 cents snatch 70X. Kev, I guess it's Kevin. Chrome bacon is the color.
That's bait.
Chrome bacon. Nice.
But I would recommend freaking using pretty much anything that's like a beginner type style bait, like a plastic style bait. I wouldn't really use anything like handcrafted right away or anything that's over $100 or $60 really. And I think the eye slides 175s are a really good idea. They're, like I said, $59, I'm pretty sure. They're a really good bait to start off with, especially right now, especially in the cold. I think they shine in the cold, and they give a really good regular just S pattern, just like an S waiver, just a little bit more of a roll in the end, and then if you twitch, it'll just do a short, quick glide side to side, and I think that's a really good bait. You can go and show the
All right, so the little B, you got a 6 cents lure as well. The Cloud 9 Mini Mag SB 3.8. This color is Gizzard Shad. Man, some of you guys are getting some high dollar stuff. I don't always have super high dollar ones.
And then
Cloud 9.
and then another bait I
Dude,
got
that's
that is a
nice.
really good beginner bait too is a bream slide from Evergreen.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
really good as well, and they're a little bit more of a tighter action to them, which is a little different. I also have a little tracer on as well, which helps to see it.
Those
And
are a little more pricey though, aren't they?
uh, the one with the tracer, I mean, no, not the one with you put these on. You just
No,
you can buy them.
I just mean the swim bait itself. The
Um,
evergreen.
they're,
The evergreen.
yeah, yeah, they're about I think $69. These are, and but that's a hard bait wise. It's not too bad, but it is also a pretty good paint job. They don't get
Yeah.
scratched right
Beautiful
away,
paint jobs.
so they last a pretty long time. And then the hooks that come with them, I don't think you even have to change them out, in my opinion. They're
Yeah.
sharp as can be, and they're strong. They're like 3X hooks.
They have the
So
360-degree swivels too, don't they?
no,
On the
not
hooks.
this one.
Okay.
I wish they did, man. If they did, it would be even better. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it looks really realistic. It has those realistic fins on the side that are pretty
Mhm.
much rubber. And so it's pretty cool. The one thing I've noticed, though, is that baits with fins on them, I don't really like, which I noticed that too, which is a big difference, is that baits with these fins,
Mhm.
bass tend to shy away from because in wild, technically, the fish, sunfish or any type of bluegill or anything like that, this is like their defense mechanism in a way. So
Uh-huh.
when those fish eat them, they get stuck, because of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
reason. Those
Yeah.
spot don't want to allow them to go in.
Uh-huh.
So usually what happens, you'll see with these bluegill baits, the bass will tend to come around them or usually come from underneath, and usually it's because they're trying to eat them head first because they
Uh-huh.
know technically those fish will kill them
Yeah. Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've seen that in myself in the from the bank, fish choking or somehow floating on top of the surface with something in its mouth. But usually they tend to shy away from that, and I think that kind of I see that with baits itself is that the ones that are smoother, I tend to get more bites off of, and I've noticed that because the eye slide that I use doesn't have any fins or anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and I tend to get a lot more bites off the eye slide than I've ever gotten off this.
Interesting.
So I don't know, and a lot of other baits that I have too that I've gotten a lot of bites on have been smooth as well. So I
Wonder if
don't
you
know.
I wonder if you cut the fins off.
Yeah, or grind them down.
Right them down. All right. Nathan mentioned the Arashi Glide is a nice entry level
Yep,
bait. That's what this is what he's talking about here. And these are
that is
about
a good bait.
I think these are about 40
I just
bucks,
don't
aren't they?
have it. I haven't bought it, but I heard a lot of people say that it is a good entry bait.
Yeah, Brandon Polinick helped design this, and he kind of modeled it after the negotiator.
Hmm.
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, he did. He loved the negotiator and took a lot. But this is a plastic bait, unlike the negotiator, which is handmade wooden bait, much more expensive. This thing's really very reasonably priced. So
Yeah.
you're right, Nathan. This would be a good entry level lure if you want to give it a shot.
Yeah, that, the Rashi, the Shine Glide, from Savage Gear, the pretty much ABT, I think it's ABT Extremes wrap glide, which is like 70, $60, which is a little expensive, but it has a wrap on it. It's pretty nice. And I'm pretty sure it's a resin bait, which is pretty decent for a resin bait. And also they have what other? Uh, the Duo Hardcore Ninja, I think it is.
Okay.
And that one is also a really good glide bait as well. Heard a lot of guys use that one. Also, Hook Sets of Free uses that one as well. BBZ.
Oh yeah, yeah. The BBZ.
Is a really good entry bait as well, the swim bait, and pretty much anything that really, like I said, is ABS type plastic bait that is under about $60 is really going to be a really good bait. It just, like I said, it's all about finding the ones that have the most success. Don't just go after the ones that just you see someone just saying, "Oh yeah, this is the best bait. This is
Yeah.
going to catch you the fish of a lifetime."
Right.
Don't go and immediately fall for that. Try to do some research on that bait and really find if that bait does support its cost. If it's really worth it, then you'll buy it. If it's
Mhm.
not worth what it costs, don't get it and don't waste your money because sooner or later you're just going to be wasting your money and
That's
not
right.
catching fish. So, and that's what I think a lot of people don't realize too, that these hard baits is a totally different thing from the soft bait thing.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as those soft bait baits, and I
Yeah.
have some. And like I said, I have the 6.8 Kitex that are pretty
Mhm.
big. I have the
Mhm.
7-inch ones as well that I
Mhm.
have right here. Uh, yeah, 7, 8 ones here as well, and these are big baits as well, and they're good as well right now. I still know a guy that is from Jersey specifically who uses the 6.8 a lot, and he caught I think it was like a 7.2, which
Really?
is unbelievable for around my area.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Yeah,
and
that's
I was
huge
like,
for New Jersey.
dude, that's like a lifetime dream fish for here. So
Yeah.
and it was crazy. And I was like, dude, you both got that off a freaking $12 Kitech, like like what the hell? So I was like
Yeah.
lost, I was like, what?
Yeah.
So then, I've tried it, but I've never gotten success off of it. But like I said, I've noticed that on my own that not every bait that someone else uses and gets success on or catches 30 fish, 40 fish on is going to be the same for you.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's what really is a big key to notice is that not every bait's going to do the same exact thing that that person was able to do with it. So
Yep.
you got to take that into mind before getting into it.
Absolutely.
And then these are also a soft bait too. These are the Sepper 9.
Oh yeah.
These are really good. These are to mimic the Balam 300
Okay.
and or 250, or it's one of those. But it's pretty much to mimic this, made by the same company, Madness, and they're pretty real, like really realistic the way they move in the water. I had a pack of these smoke ones. These are all the regular smoke. I had the other smoke that has the sparkle on it,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and those ones they got bit, man. And I just haven't gotten them for so long. And Toxic Baits uses this, and he loves it. And so it has a really natural swim to it,
Yeah,
and
you can tell, man, that thing has got
it,
some subtle action.
and it folds up really well. So once that fish gets it in its mouth, it's gone,
Mhm.
man. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
uses a big hook, so that's the benefit of it is that when the hook it uses, though, there's really no way that fish is not getting it in its mouth because once it goes down, it's only about 3-4 inches,
That is
and
cool.
so that right there just could just smash. And literally, like I said, it's a really good bait, and it works really well anywhere near like grass, um, edges of any type of bank. If you just swim it really fast, it's almost like it's become like a top water, and
John
it just wins.
John Smith asked, "What hook do you use for that?"
10-aught beast hook.
Owner Beast hook, dude. You can use the Owner Beast hook. Works so good for swim baits, man. It really does.
Yep. And like I said, what I do is I just tune mine a little bit. I just take a little grinder and sand down the weight and just make it a little bit lighter and just alter it a little bit, and you just get a subtle difference fall. And the fall, I think, is the key, man, with these soft baits
Yes, for sure.
because that's
Awesome.
really all they're going to be doing.
Heck yeah. All right. Next question for the winter prize. I'm going to do a hat. I'm going to do name my baseball team hat. So here we go. This is a repeat. So some of you guys have seen this before, but let's do it. Here it is. What team? What's the baseball team? that wears this hat? Who could it be? Who could it be? You could win the next prize if you know. Nathan, yes, the battle shads or the citizens.
Yep.
I got a battle shad right here. Yep, that's the one I've got. I think we probably bought it at the same drop, didn't we?
Yep.
Those things are ridiculous. And I think I'm probably done buying those. I don't care how great they are. They're just way overpriced, in my opinion.
They are, man. I was kind of so shocked after and then it's not really just the whole bait itself. It's just the overall that you got to pay on shipping on top of it and all that extra stuff, and it just adds up. Like I was like, Jesus, I was like $70 for a damn 7-inch bait.
It's
I was like,
insane.
wow.
It's insane, man. And here's the other problem: is it'd be one thing if there weren't 30 other baits that can catch fish awesome as well. I just think that one's gotten out of control. The working class zero baits have just gotten out of control. But I'm a sucker, I'll fall for it too. And
and not just that too. It's just that also the fact that they drop so fast, man.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to get them sometimes. People are complaining, oh my God, I haven't got them in months because every time I try to get one, they always get cart jacked.
I know. It's happened to me so many times, man. I've literally the very second that they drop, I got it in the cart. I'm all ready and gone. I mean,
the 7.5 didn't drop until like a couple seconds after the other ones were selling out. I was like, what? I was like, how the hell are you supposed to buy them then?
I know. Yeah.
So I was like, come on, man.
I know. It was ridiculous.
So, and I think that's also has to do with everybody's internet is different. And some people probably got it quicker. And it's just annoying sometimes. And that's why a lot of guys, I kind of hate it when they do those. They'll buy 4 at a time, 3 at a time. And they just dump the carts out, and they're just dumping the lures right out of the stock, And everyone gets screwed, and then they end up seeing them on Swimbait Underground or Swimbait Universe for $100 a pop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, that's not right.
It's not right.
But you see guys, chumping out change for them. And that's not even that bad, to be honest, compared to prices I've seen on eBay for them. I've seen them for $180.
It's crazy.
I was like, who's going to pay $180 for a battle shad? Come on, man.
I know. It is wild. Congratulations, Jan. Here's your ticket, and let's spin for you. Jan got it right. The Scranton Rail Riders.
Yeah, that 6.0 is really sweet. I was going to get it, but it was selling out before everything else,
Oh, I thought he was going to win the Dark Horse Tackle Prize.
Oh, man.
That was close. All right, Jan, what do you want, man? Hard baits, miscellaneous, soft plastics. I make baits just like the Battle Shad for $23. Well, dude, you need to figure out how to market. You need to figure out how to market them and sell them for $70 each.
Yeah, they sell a mold on eBay that literally looks just like the Battle Shad.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's insane. And I went to go and look at it, and it was literally almost identical.
I wonder what
the fact that it didn't have that damn mold that you the hollow belly, the hollow inside. Yep. That's the only difference.
All right, Jan, I'm giving you 2. You pick soft plastics. I'm going to give 2 out on the soft plastics tonight. So I got the Intruder by Bruiser Baits and the Castaic Jerky J 5-inch and Mardi Gras. Cool. Jerky J and Bruiser. Cool. Good deal. All right, what else we got here? Oh yeah, here's one I haven't shown you guys. This is pretty wild. Let's see how much time we got left. I might save that one and show you this one. This one here is I haven't shown you this one, Matthew. This one, I don't know that you'd be swimming this thing, but I was like, dude, this thing is so off the charts.
You're right.
This is so off the charts crazy. I gotta get one of these. Let me show you here.
You were hiding this one, huh? Is that a Monka? Oh no, that's the Dodge Hound.
It's called the Wing Docks by Fish Arrow.
Yeah, that's the Dutch Hound dog.
They had this made special for
Man, I wanted one of those, man. You're lucky.
For their 20th anniversary.
Man, I wanted the exact color too, the black one, man.
No, this one's red. This one's the
that's the red one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the black one.
Nope, it's red. But I mean, their red is so dark.
Yeah, it looks dark.
But yeah, this is very unique, crazy topwater bait.
That is a cool bait, man.
I don't know if I'll ever fish it. You know,
I wouldn't fish it in.
But it's pretty awesome. It's pretty unique, especially
but they say it works.
Yeah, they do. I mean, this is the thing about the Japanese. Even when they do something, you know, as a marketing deal, this was to celebrate their 20th anniversary. They still use the highest quality components. They engineer it and they build it so that it will absolutely catch fish. And
that's what I like about them, man.
I know. That's what I like about them, too. It's made out of wood. It's handmade.
That's the key, man, that wood.
The ears and collar are made out of leather. And these wings on there are specially made by a company called Raid in Japan. They're called
Raid makes the best walkers, man.
They make the very best walkers and the best wings. Those are called the Deca Dodge wings.
Yep.
And it's 5.5 ounces. There you go. I mean, 5.5 inches and 2 ounces in weight. And it's got a little propeller on the tail there. A little prop. Yep. Pretty crazy.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right. You don't see that every day.
No, you don't.
Mr. Bass, did you get it from that source I gave you? I don't remember, John. It's very possible. It's very possible, man.
You'd be like, oh, what kind of technique you doing? I'm walking the dog.
Yeah, literally. Walking the dog with the dachshund.
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. What else have I got for name that lure? What do you got? What's your next swim bait you want to show us?
Actually, I got this my last one actually, and I got this one this week, and I actually used this one actually a couple times. I actually have another one in Hitch, but I got this one which is the Rego Trout, Rainbow Trout, that they came out on the drop on Swim Bait Underground. It's Rego Baits, who's been making swim baits for a really long time.
Yeah.
And is one of like empires of really the swim bait like game of making baits.
Yeah.
And so this is the D3 that they did the collab with, and it has a diamond bill that is way different than a lot of other baits. And it's a wake, and it can be a crank down. It has 2 different ties on it. So you can have, the top tie is meant for just cranking down because that obviously doesn't allow the bait to be pulled up. And then the one on the bottom is meant for just waking. And that's, man, I think this bait shines like crazy. But also on going down, it deflects cover way different than any other bait. So when instead of just hitting the something and just going boom and up, it'll actually, the lip, since it's made like this, it'll go this way and then turn the bait completely sideways and go out. And it's pretty unique, and it completely takes the hooks away from whatever it's hitting and moves it out the way, and then just goes right back.
Interesting.
So it's pretty unique. And then, like I said, when the wake goes, it literally makes this V cut in the water that's almost like a triangle, and it just cuts through the water and it makes a nice S figure. And the tail is soft. It's actually um, rubber, like a soft plastic worm, and the tail wags really well,
Interesting.
man, back and forth, and creates.
I would assume you can replace that tail.
Yeah, it comes with an extra tail.
Okay.
And so you get two tails, and it comes with a little screw. You can change it out with just two little screws.
I see. Yep. Yep.
So those little screws you just take right out, and it comes right out of the tail, and it's pretty sick. And like I said, it has multiple things you can do with it, and you can really do a lot of things with it. But a lot of people, I've seen a lot of good success with this bait, and they also made an older one that was massive and was like 10 inches. This is only 7 inches, and it only weighs 2.3 ounces. So it's not a big bait, but it is a good bait size that can catch a 4 to 5 pounder easy. You know.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
yep.
Wow, that is sweet.
And it has a really sweet action. And like I said, the tail wiggles really well, and it makes a good sound on the wake. So I'd recommend getting one.
No doubt. That is sweet. All right. Here's your next name that lure. What in the world could this be called? What is this? Adam, you got it, dude. It's the Swim Cinco. And if you look close, this part of it looks just like a Cinco from this to this. And then it starts to transition, into this paddle tail. And this is an excellent fish catching lure. So Adam, dude, you got it, man. You got it.
Booster, my PB on a swim bait is 5 pounds here in Jersey. But that's not my biggest fish here in Jersey. My biggest fish was landed on a Edo Shiner jerkbait at 6.9 pounds.
Edo Shiner, that's a mega bass. In case somebody doesn't know out there. Okay, Adam, here's your ticket. Let's spin for you and see if you can avoid the striking out.
But I've caught more 3s and 4s with my swim baits than any of my other baits, I will admit, though. So
yeah, so when you get into bigger class fish, Jersey, a 4-pounder is a big fish. So swim baiting definitely pays off if you're in search of big fish. Yeah. And you're going to catch some giants. You know, you'll catch those once in a lifetime ones.
Yeah,
as
sooner
well.
or later you will. Yes, you will.
All right, Adam. What's your poison here? You want soft plastics? He wants hard bait. Okay. All right. Here we go. The Castaic square bill crankbait. This is the 1.5 inch. What color is this? I wonder. Citrus shad. Citrus shad. Castaic square bill.
My favorite for John Smith, he asked me what's my favorite JDM plastic. Honestly, out of all of them that I've messed with, the depths, and I have pounds of depth bags and stuff like that, and they work. And I've caught a lot of good fish, but the one that caught me the most fish this year was my Berkeley Power Wigglers. And I've told this to Mr. Bass plenty of times about these. And I've caught over 50, 60 fish with these just alone. And
Oh, cool.
and I've literally bought tons of packs from Hookup Tackle just because they're really the only people that had them. So I really bought any color, and literally all the colors worked from pink to brown to black and smoke to brown to the baby bass one, which was actually my favorite. But the one I landed my biggest one on was the baby bass, which was a 5-pounder as well.
So John Smith wants to know, how do you rig them?
I rigged them on a swim jig. I actually have a swim jig right here.
Caro, I am up to 628 fish.
Right.
628. So I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. 3 3/4 hundreds to go.
But yeah, I use them on a swim jig, but I usually use the special type of jig that I'm using. I have them all fitted here.
Fish in the southeast is at 629. He's got me beat. Man. He's got me beat.
I have these are the type of jigs I use, but I have all of them in my bag. But at the moment, this is the type of jig I have used with them, and also the Maseraba jig from Depths, and that one's all beat up from snakeheads. So destroyed the skirt.
Snakeheads.
And so literally that's what it would look like when it came in, and that's how it came out after a day of catching snakeheads.
Cool.
Yeah, these two jigs, man, I've had the best work with them, success. They hook right away, especially the Matsuraba. That thing, man, it just hooks the fish automatically. Like, I'm barely setting the hook and literally catching them. So I'd recommend it. And it goes through cover like crazy. It has a special head on it that is very unique. It's not the same as a lot of other jigs.
Uh-huh.
It's got a very weird shaped head. And so it has this little concave head here, and on the side it's actually shaped in an angle. So what happens is when it hits wood or anything, it just literally just bumps it and goes right over instead of flipping and going to the side. So it just goes right over, and then like I said, it's very narrow, so it literally combs right through stuff.
Cool.
So, and I've thrown this in wood, all types of stuff, and I've always got them back. So I'd recommend it.
All right, we're getting down to the final deal here. You got one last swim bait you want to show us, Matthew?
No, it's all your turn now. I left it all for you.
All right, I will wrap up with this crazy thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. These negotiators, they put them in these fancy packages. And this is the Roman-made Awabi negotiator. Check this thing out. Dude, this is the bomb. Is it not, Matthew?
Yeah, man, that is crazy. You got to tell them what is under that. They probably think it's paint.
Yeah. Guess what this is? This is a handmade wooden bait from Japan. They make them by hand. And the skin on this lure, see how glossy and shiny it is? What do you think that is? That's leather, boys and girls.
Walls.
That is leather. And then they put some sort of a coating over it. They put layer upon layer of this coating, and they polish this coating to give it this high flash.
It's crazy. I don't know how they do that.
Is that a beautiful bait or what, man?
That is a beautiful bait. I could see that going for some good money secondhand.
Yeah. Well,
But
get this.
I would not sell that baby.
I bought this thing on Tackle Warehouse, and
What?
I bought it. They've got them on Tiger Warehouse right now. Some of them. I don't know if they have this color, but I got it on the Labor Day sale, so I got like 15% off of it on the Labor Day sale, which is pretty crazy.
That made out then.
Yep. That's a pretty bait right there, boys and girls. That color is called what do they call that color? What I tell you the color was there, Matthew, you remember? Pearl bass.
Yeah.
Pearl bass.
And I love that color, man.
That's a sick fish color. So I gotta fish with this thing. I am gonna fish it.
Yeah.
I know it's beautiful, but I gotta fish it.
You gotta try at least a couple times.
Gotta try that thing.
That
for
thing
sure.
It looked like it would get crushed, man.
Have you seen the manifold leather swim baits? And Nathan, I have. You're talking about that $1,500 swim bait? Jeez Louise, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's like this long. I mean, it wouldn't even fit the camera. It's so long. I don't know how anybody could even throw it. But
I don't even understand what the point is of that.
I don't either. It make for a good YouTube video. The Lunkers TV guy did it, one on video.
Yeah, that
It
is
makes a
true.
great video. I don't know any other purpose for it than that. But
you would have to literally like troll that thing.
You're not kidding. 27 ounces. Sean Z was saying it's 27 ounces. I mean, gee. I mean, I don't know. What would you throw that thing on?
I thought the big one was 41 ounces.
I don't know, man. Either way, it's insane is what it is. All right. Last lure, last chance to win a prize right here. Now, if you have not figured out what the theme is, the theme is Yamamoto, Gary Yamamoto baits. Every bait I've shown you tonight has been a Gary Yamamoto bait. And this is the final one. It just so happens to be my favorite chatterbait trailer. Matthew got it. And I did not warn him. I did not tell him or show him anything ahead of time. It's the Zacco, boys and girls. That's a great color too. Look at that color. This is one of their better colors out there. But the Zacco, if you've not tried the Zacco, it is a great bladed jig trailer. And of course, it fishes in a lot of other ways too. They also make one with a paddle tail now, which would be nice on a swim bait head. You could fish it separately. So Matthew might win a prize tonight. How about that? We got a spin for him. Let me do his ticket.
But I was going to answer one of John's questions.
Yeah,
I used the 3.5 size mainly, but I also have the 4-inch ones, but I ran out of them recently. So I pretty much just used the 3.5 because I noticed I caught more fish. And like I said, I've caught 5-pounders on this little 3.5. So if I can catch that, I'm sure they'll just be fine taking this, if it's in stock. So that's what I just use for now. And I also have the 5-inch. But the 5-inch is totally different because the 5-inch one comes with actually an inline system to where you can make this bait into an inline bait and turn it into a pretty much inline swim bait and have a treble hook off the bottom. So that's how, what's his name? How am I forgetting his name? Kimkin likes to fish this bait, which is the designer of this. And Kimkin Komori, and he designed this bait and pretty much made it. And it took him like 4 or 5 years just to make this size bait, so that he would be able to put the inline system in there to where it won't rip the bait tremendously, but it will go right through and create just a channel for your line to sit in. So it's pretty unique, and it works really well though on a regular just beast hook. A number 6 beast hook would work just fine, number 5. And it's a really heavy bait. This bait weighs about 1 ounce.
Wow.
So I look probably a little more as well, but it's very dense. And their little baits as well are really dense as well. These little guys here, I'm pretty sure they weigh a half ounce on their own.
Wow.
So yeah, they're real heavy for a soft, tiny plastic, and that's I think where you get a lot of the swim that comes with this bait. It just works, man. And then, like I said, the scent on this is totally different from the regular power bait scent that you get over here. It's got like a pumpkin smell, so it's totally different, and it really works. The bass love it, and I've seen multiple fish just hold on to it for like more than 3 seconds. So if they hold on that long, I think they like it. And I got, like I said, multiple different, colors. I got the regular, I think this is a Mibi or something, which is like a sort of like a bait fish they have in Japan. But they really work, and that's probably one of my favorite swim bait type plastics there is, and also just plastics in general because I use swim jigs mainly.
We're just going to spin for Matthew. Great work tonight, Matthew.
Yeah, thanks.
KVD crate. How about that?
No way.
You did a great job tonight. Everybody smash that like button tonight and put a thumbs up in the comments if you liked having Matthew on the show tonight. I thought he did a great job. He's got some great knowledge. And we'll do another swim bait show here in the near future. And if some of you other guys want to hop on, we'll get Matthew back and maybe a few others, the Mad Swim Baiter and some of the other guys. And we'll check it out. Yeah, we'll give him 2 KVDs tonight. Good thinking to Little B. Let me see what we got in here in the KVD crate we can break out for him.
Glad I could help you guys too,
Heck yeah. All right, let's do a this is one of my favorite out here, the Rage Bug. The Rage Tail Structure Bug. This is great flipping bait. We'll do that for you, and let's do a topwater since we're here in the topwater season coming up. The Sexy Dog.
Sweet, nice color too.
Nice. All right, guys. If you were a winner, DM me on Instagram with your name, what you won, what your mailing address is, and I will ship it out to you. My Instagram is at Mr. Bass TV. If you don't have Instagram, you can send me an email. My email is mrbasstv@protonmail.com. And be sure to give us a like, and hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. I am going to do a more in-depth video of all these swim baits and post it here in probably this next week, along with a few others I was not able to get to tonight, in case you want to see more of them up close on a little better camera. Looks like we are done.
Alrighty, thanks guys for
you did a great job. Through. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys Wednesday night on the Get Your Fish On Mr. Bass show. We're having Edwin Evers, pro bass fisherman, will be on. That's going to be a good one. Great show. So hope to see you guys there Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And until next time, we are leaving in 3, 2, 1. Good.